Hey guys, it's Brenden Sullivan here with the Geek Speak show at Silicon Valley Comic Con, and I'm here with an amazing author, Josh Blaylock. And I gotta tell you right now, this guy brought me back into comics when I was away for about 10 years. His story on Curse of a Merch Girl is unbelievable. If you haven't read it yet, read it right now. Josh, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, about how you got into becoming an author, especially with such great comic book stories.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment. And like, it's it actually means a lot because Merch Girl was a book that kind of flew under the radar. I came up through like indie comic scenes. Like, it was funny because we worked on this with Merz when he was like coming up and like touring to Japan and stuff, selling tape cassettes. I was like hustling black and white indie comics.
Very nice.
And then I got the license to G.I. Joe in like early 2000s. Like in 2001, I got that. That had been dead for like 7 years, almost 10 years, and I brought it back. Did a deal with Image Comics that blew up. That launched. My company Devil's Due was set up. We went through Image, and then that kicked off a whole crazy 80s retro boom in comics.
No way.
Then kind of rode that train for a while. Put out a lot of our own original stuff, and we always like to put out like what back then was weirder indie stuff. What now is actually what people are digging. Like that's what the mainstream's going for more now. But we did that for several years, like I think 7 years, all these licensed titles, and then actually kind of almost went out of business in like 2008, 2009 when the economy crashed. Right in 2009, I met with Merz. I started working. We wanted to do something together. We had met on and off a couple years leading up to that, and then we were like, all right, we want to do a comic book. It's not going to have a fucking rapper in the comic jumping around being a superhero. It's not going to be, it's going to capture the feeling of like the music lifestyle, when you're touring. And that's so much about what he raps about, and a lot of his lyrics, like Road is My Religion, that kind of thing. So it turned into like this thing of like, all right, Yumi Morales is going to be the merch girl for the band.
Right.
And it's going to be it's going to deal with like kind of like the excess and the temptations on the road, and then turn it into something that takes a whole supernatural twist. And then from there, I just started writing the comic, and Merz was working on the album with Foundation. I think he just started working with Foundation then, and now they got a bunch of projects together. But we and then we fucking took forever to do it. I mean, it was like Jose Garcia was drawing it. He's at Mexico City. He was just, I was like, this is right when my world went to shit. And I was just like eking money out to him when I could get it out to him. He was working on stuff. Anyway, like, 3 years later, I was going to relaunch the company, and also Kickstarter had just like become a thing. And I was like, man, Merz, this Kickstarter is like, this is how we do this. Like, and he's not really a big fan of that, but he got behind that one project to do it, and it did fucking great. It was like the second highest funded hip hop project on Kickstarter, I think, until like a year ago.
Wow. And
got the book out. I went ahead. I published the book. It was available in all the comic book shops and everything. But and for people who don't know what it is, it's a hardcover graphic novel, self-contained story, over 100 pages. Wait till she stops yapping. She's talking about all these people more important than us.
I don't know. In my book, you're more important.
Thanks. What's funny is because people usually tell me, "Oh, you brought me back into comics with G.I. Joe."
No,
you're the first person that's ever been like that book.
It's Merch Girl, and I actually, in reality, I just bought the 3 other ones. The Mercy one.
Mercy Sparks.
Yes.
That's my main jam right now.
I can't wait to get into that one.
Thanks,
because
man.
I was here yesterday talking to one of your people behind the booth, and she was describing it to me, and it was everything that I wanted. And so, how did you come up with the story for that one?
It's that started. I was hungover in Orlando, Florida, nice trashy Florida, at a con, and I was just doodling the sketch and drew on this devil chick, and then she had like an angel feather in her mouth, like biting it, and she was twirling a halo, like she just beat the shit out of some angel. And then I was like, just started thinking like, what would this is actually a cool character. And then decided to, I can't remember if it was that drawing or the next one. I gave her like heaven tattoos. Like, all right, she's like a rebel devil chick. She's gonna have like angels and shit on her tattoos. And then that just kind of birthed the idea of that story of this devil girl that hunts rogue angels.
Wow.
So the thing is, she works for heaven.
Right.
That's the twist. And then I kind of, you know, if you've ever seen one, there's like really popular devil chicks in comics like Purgatory. I'm drawing a blank. There's like others. There's all the Coop bumper stickers and statues and rock poster art. He's famous for that. I wanted that kind of like classic character, but they're always real like, they're always very like, you know, I'm blanking out on my words. They're all real super sexy, and you know they're not voyeurs, exhibitionist.
Kind of like those old like AC/DC kind of like rocker chicks with the devil horns.
So this is a angsty chick who would like not really. She's hot, but she would not get along with them because she's just too much. You know, she's just a angsty punk rocker and wants to drink PBR and Jameson and get in fights, and so yeah, it's Mercy Sparks is actually not a demon either. She's a deviling. She's from the land of Sheol. It's not heaven, not hell, not purgatory. It's from the Old Testament. And it's like a waiting place, like not limbo either. And it was it was in the Old Testament before heaven and hell and all that stuff. So
see, now I'm even learning religious stuff. I was raised on religion. And I had no idea about this.
I saw that and I was like, well, now I'm like, well, okay, so what happened to Sheol after everybody just started going everywhere else? Well, now it's like a place where you go when you fall through the cracks of the of the system, so of the divine system. So she's brought out. She's approached by a demon one day that says, you know, she's actually at a bar in Sheol, and he just says, you know, I have a message from heaven. You're gonna work for them now on Earth, taking care of some problems they have. And she starts to yell at him. He bitch smacks her, knocks her out, and she wakes up on Earth, just like. As a blonde chick, and freaks out when she looks in the mirror, and then cuts to a year later. She's hunting angels, and now we're on to like the third trade paperback. We're at issue 11 of the ongoing series. We're really getting into the story of, you know, like what's really what's really going on between heaven and hell, and spies on either side, and why Mercy's really there, and.
Yeah, I just bought all 3 books at once because I knew your writing style was something that I was going to follow. So I just bought all 3 at once.
Thank you.
So what else are you working on now besides this one, besides Mercy?
Really, it's just trying to keep up with Mercy. I would love to do another Merch Girl, like one-shot story or something like that, pick up where it left off. But I kind of don't want to do it without like the music component to it. And, you know, Merch's schedule is crazy, and, you know, he's busier than I am. So, but who knows? Maybe that'll happen someday. The Mercy Spark, we're putting out the Mercy Sparks Omnibus collection. It's like 400 pages of all the collected stuff. Her year 1, her origin story is coming out later this year.
Dibs.
It's like her as a kid, like how does she grow up in this weird world, and then also her first year on Earth.
Oh God.
So and then that's going to lead into some other stuff. There's most of my time, 90% of my day is running the company Devil's Due and all the other books that we publish.
Right.
So the irony is when you start your own comic book company is your project's like the last one that, you know, you see worked on. And then I got some other story I've been kicking around for a few years. I don't know when the hell it's going to come out. It deals with like all the stuff, you know, you ever heard about pyramids in Atlantis and ancient alien stuff and all that, like, but really broken down into a universe with rules and like and like just having fun with like all these ancient monuments and stuff we can't explain, but writing a story around that. But it reads like it doesn't read like an old time like Egyptian story. It reads more like a CIA action.
Very cool.
Like military thriller.
So
if I ever get around to that shit, it's hard.
You probably will, in all honesty. So how can people follow you in order to find out what's coming out next, like for the Mercy Girl and Mers and you?
Devilsdue.net.
Okay.
Like pay the devil his dues. That's like the DEVILSDUE.net. And then I have a merged imprint we just formed with a classic, another comic book company called First Comics. So if you go to Devilsdue-1, number 1, FIRST, Devil's Due First, that's like our whole giant like umbrella company now.
Okay.
And then Devil's Due, we just did a deal with Threadless.com, so the t-shirt website. They do thousands of shirts. We're the first comic book publisher that has an artist shop with them. You can go to I'm Facebook.com. I'm Josh Blaylock, JoshBlaylock. Josh Blaylock on Twitter. I'm not the kid from Video Game High School or from Red Dead Redemption. I'm the OG Josh Blaylock. I was here first. If anyone 13 years old comes up to me and they're excited to meet me, I'm like, not him. They don't even have to talk. Just no. And then there's I'm on Snapchat as Pop Cultivator, like P-O-P Cult C-U-L-T, like Cultivator, I-V-A-T-O-R. So yeah.
Awesome. So there you go. Probably have to rewind that a couple of times to understand all of them.
Maybe you guys can post the links or something.
Yeah, we're going to post them everywhere. But thank you so much, Josh. Everything, man.
That was the most exciting part of me reading all of my contacts.